Hey Void, how you doing? So, been a little while since I've posted. Excuse me. There's been a couple of reasons for that. Well, I did watch a couple movies over the Christmas weekend with the intention to recording shortly thereafter. However, come Christmas Day, I had a little bit of a sore throat. Come 2 days afterwards, I am not functional. So, I have been dead to the world until midday yesterday. And by then, my voice still hadn't recovered to speak dulcetly to you, Void. So, I'm trying to get back on that. Review the couple I watched then, and the few, very few, I watched in the meantime. Plus one show that kind of fell through the cracks. So, got a couple reviews coming up over the next day or so. See how many I can get through tonight. So, just had a bad cold. Not COVID, nothing like that. Just bad cold, and my hair still looks terrible. But it's not going to stop me from doing what I do. At least for very long. So, last weekend, one of the two movies I watched just before Christmas. First one on my Shudder quest, because that's where I was with this. Knife plus Heart. At least I think that's how it's supposed to be done. It's literally knife, the plus sign, then heart. It's a French giallo-style film. The French title is Un couteau dans le cœur. I do not speak French. My accent is terrible. I probably butchered that. Now, that translates literally to a knife in the heart. So, same kind of thing. Now, I mentioned this is a giallo-style film. And I've said it numerous times, I don't normally care for giallos. But this one did hold my interest a little bit. Right, so. And that's because there's a lot of things going on that just, I didn't really know what this was going to throw next in me. So, it starts, and any movie that pretty much starts with a switchblade dildo, gonna have my attention, not gonna lie. Okay, so this is about the adult film industry in France, particularly the low-budget gay scene. Now, it's pretty much a stable of actors in said scene are being killed. Usually in, erotically ironic ways. I.e. dildo stabbing. And it's run by a woman who has just had a bad breakup with her girlfriend, who is the editor. And their troubled relationship is kind of one of the main catch points here, while the cops are, of course, not really caring what's happening to young gay stars. So, it's an over-the-top, campy queer romp through giallo exploitation and murder. And I will say it kind of held my attention. God, my voice is failing me already, and I just started. So, normally I don't really care for giallos, but this one, I liked it enough. The main girl who at first I was surprised she was the lead we're following, because it makes you seem like the editor is the main character in the first couple scenes, but then you realize, oh, we're following the more troubled director, who's seems to be the one who's in the bad one in this bad relationship, and so she's our lead, which is not what I was expecting. I will say the motive for the murder, is largely nonsensical and just weird, but at this point for this movie I was willing to just go with anything, so everything was over the top enough that it did keep me invested, which is more than most giallos do for me. Most of them I start nodding off since I'm usually watching them very late at night. So this one did hold my interest. I'm going to give Knife plus Heart, came out 2018, if I didn't say that yet. My head's still kind of scattered. I'll give it a good 6 MacGuffins. Yeah, this was one that did win me over a little bit on it. I was invested. I like that they went with a queer representation without really, I mean, I can't say they didn't fetishize it because it is the porn industry. Fetishizing is what they do. But they did it in a way where it wasn't as objectifying as something like this can be, since pretty much all the primary characters were queer in some fashion. It worked in that regard. Like, even the killer wasn't killing them because they were queer, but because of, well, some terrible tragedy that happened in his own past that, well, the killer's also queer. So it's like a little microcosm of queerness that gets invaded by a killer. It's interesting from that standpoint alone, and I always approve of those representation in films, so I was glad to see that, and that did also elevate this above just a standard Giallo for me. I know technically Giallo is more Italian, and this is French, but the style was there, so I'm just calling it that. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up so I can get a quick drink before attempting another one. But yeah, Netflix Heart is, I'd say is worth checking out. Alright, Void, stick with me. I'm back.